And I do also have a bit of some reverb, so I would have to go into my editing. So here, this is my Boss ME25 multi. It's a multiple effects pedal. So what I basically have here, I'm gonna start maybe with the compression. The compression is quite simple. So there's different types of compressors here. Sorry, and so this is the first one. The first one is basically your clean compressor. Just basically a compressor, in my understanding, simple language, is to actually help boost or reduce the velocity, or maybe the punch, or if I can call it that way. For me, it helps me. So if I have too much compression, if it's too much in terms of boosting my tone, when I just hit a note, if I have too much of that compression up, it's gonna be loud, even if I'm just playing it lightly. So if I have the compression, making sure that anything that I play is toned down, even if I hit as hard as I can, it's still gonna be very low because of the compression. So it depends however you want it to help you out with your playing. And so I have it basically, it's the first compression here, and then there's multiple others, and which I'm not interested in for my clean tone. And then there's a drive. I do have a bit of a drive in here. It depends on where you want to put it, but I sometimes, most of the time, I can go as far as 40. This is up to 100, by the way. I take it up to 40, and then there's the tone. The tone really deals with your brightness, it's really the brightness in the way I understand it with this pedal especially. So it's the brightness, and then there's the volume. So for the volume, it's just for you to actually know that, okay, this is how loud you want it to be, but you need to be mindful of the tone, because the tone will determine whether your guitar is too bright or too dull. And then the drive, it will bring that crunchy sound when you apply too much of it. So you need to make sure that the drive is just enough to make sure that your guitar is not too what can I possibly call this? It's not too light. It's just to give it a bit of a boost, so that when you hit your strings hard, you're strumming, you get a bit of crunchiness, not to actually have too much. And then I have the delay. So the type of delay that I use is in this particular pedal, it's actually the fourth one. It's basically a stereo delay. Actually, it's a stereo delay. Let me just check to confirm here. Or it's a tap delay, but it acts more like a stereo delay. So you are able to tap the tempo here to determine what type of tempo you want the pedal to be on, especially with the songs, with any song, the songs that were played with a click, or so you need to be able to tap the tempo so that it becomes in sync with the tempo of the song, so that you don't find that your delays are late or early or sounding a bit weird. So that's why you need a tap tempo, so that you are able to tap to determine the tempo of the song on your pedal. And then you've got the reverb. So for the reverb here, there's not much options. It's basically room and hall. So I prefer the room reverb, because the hall is a bit too roomy for me. So I prefer the room one, and then I tone it down so that it's not too much. It's just enough to make the guitar wet, not for me to hear the reverb. If I get to find a good amp, or if I'm working maybe on the laptop, I'm able to choose a good reverb there. But I don't think this pedal has really good types of reverbs, unless maybe you can be able to get a stomp box that will have a good reverb that you can be able to use while you are playing. Then that's good. Or if not so, you can be able to use the one that you will find on any amp that you use. Basically, that is what I would love to share. So there's also the wah effect. Let me just exit here. There's also the wah effect. The wah effect is basically for this pedal, it's not one that has a lot of options. You just have to use what is available. So what I do on this pedal, I simply have to press harder forward, like just a bit harder, so that it's activated. So that's how it was designed to be activated. You just press a bit harder and lean forward so that you're able to activate it. So, and then basically the wah effect, it's not one that you would use much, but it has a good sound if you are able to use it in a way that is the appropriate way. So for me, I would use it for funk music or for reggae, or sometimes there can be those songs R&B or that type of vibe which will require you to use a wah, but you have to be very, very wise because it's one that can be overused and then it sounds very funny. So this one, I have it activated. Maybe I can play just this progression. It's quite a simple progression. So I'm gonna play a progression just to demonstrate the wah effect, how it really works. So this one is not one that has many options, so I'm not gonna be able to adjust much of what the wah effect will do, but I'll use what is available just to demonstrate how it works. And basically, it's basically using your foot to determine how you want the wah to sound at that point in time. You could want it to be fast, like so your foot has to be faster. Or you could have it slower. So it depends how you really want it to sound. So let me just play this progression so we can be able to hear how it sounds on a progression. So it's just a basically a simple progression, just to show you how it works. So I'm sure you can hear and you can see from my foot down here that. So when your foot is up, the tone is almost as normal as a clean guitar tone. But you bring it down, it gets a bit muffled. So that's basically what creates the wah sound. It brings you actually you bring the tone, some of the frequencies you bring them down, especially the mids. So that's how it was designed, to actually bring down some of the frequencies on the guitar to actually cancel out maybe the mids most of the time, and then you bring it up, it becomes normal. So from here you can just play. It sounds like a normal clean guitar. But you bring it down here. And for the reggae players, yeah. So for them it will depend how they want it to sound. You may have the waka waka. That's how it sounds. If you're actually playing the chord, and then what happened? Oh, sorry. My in ears were cutting here. So for the regular players, this is what they do. Most of the time, their foot is moving up, down, up, down. So like, so that's how you get the waka, 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 waka. That's how the sound is created. Up, down, up, down. And then what happens mostly with the chords, they play a full chord down, then up, it's muted, but they are still holding the same chord. So that's how you get the tone. Then with the wa, so that's how they use it. And then you can play some solos. You can also use it on your distortion. So yeah, it's basically an interesting effect to use when you are playing your guitar, but it's also wise to know when you can use it and not just apply it anyway, because it's got a specific sound to it that identifies with okay, sorry. It's good that you be careful when you can be able to use that wah effect, because it has a specific sound to it with which people would identify a certain type of music. Like I mentioned, the funk type of music or reggae. So you don't hear it most of the time, but one has to be very wise and very musical to understand that they can be able to use that effect in that specific context. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This was it just for the lesson today, and I'm hoping that we can be able to cover more ground. So please do comment and share whatever thoughts you have and what you would want us to be able to cover, and comment as many times as you can so that we can be able to see your comment. And please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you.